This Charlotte NASCAR 2024 weekend betting recap edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 100 times your entry with the Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code RACESGPN. We are also brought to you by the Mega Memorial Merch Sale. 15% off of everything in the SGPN merch store with the promo code SGPN. May act now. The sale ends on Friday.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Oh, I think there's one or two racing things to talk about this weekend, of course, here on the NASCAR Gambling Podcast, here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Memorial Day weekend was supposed to be the greatest weekend of racing history. We got part of the way there, and then we kind of fell short. It was like every high schooler's nightmare, in where you get halfway there and everything stops. So we'll talk about all of that, of course, and we'll recap all the weekend of racing. But Cody, brother, did you at the very least enjoy part of what was offered this weekend?
Yes. First of all, I would like to propose that we change our name to the IndyCar Gambling Podcast. Hopefully you tailed us on the IndyCar bets for the Indy 500 because that one was good. And Ricardo checking in all the races sucked except for that one. The Indy 500 was good. Actually, Xfinity race is really good too. But at this point, Rod, I think that we need to go ahead and take a break. And then in 2 hours, we'll just cancel the show because fuck it. So yes, we do have a lot of things to talk about.
I feel like there's a little bit of rain coming in.
No,
in
it's humid, Rod. It's I don't know if you notice after it rains places, especially in the South, there's humidity in the air. It's a really crazy thing. I don't know.
There's lightning. There's lightning in there.
Oh boy.
Sorry. Turning off my lights on and on for those of you in the podcast audience. But once again, we implore you, go check out the YouTube channel because JDK's hanging out saying, "What's good, fellas?" And then, of course, Ricardo saying maybe it's just that my bet's like, hey, we do judge races based on the betting cards, though.
Oh, yeah. we do. And we gave out bets for the Coca-Cola 600. So apologize. We didn't get the memo that it was going to be the Coca-Cola 374.5. Had we got that memo, then our cards would have been completely different because it's a much different race to bet on when it's the Coca-Cola 374.5 instead of the Coca-Cola 600, Rod.
Yeah, no, and again, that's just one of the biggest things. And then full disclosure, guys, the reason that we didn't get a show out yesterday, I mean, obviously it was Memorial Day. I was just returning from my long Army weekend, and I had not yet been able to watch the whatever that was offered.
Coca-Cola 374.5.
Coca-Cola 374.5. I didn't get a chance to watch that yet. I had stayed up till 1 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday morning to get in the truck in the Xfinity race because I didn't want to have to indulge all in one day. That would have been a whole lot of racing for one day. But so then we had to push everything back. So what we'll do, obviously, if you're joining us now, you're catching the recap like 2 days late, actually, unfortunately. But then we'll give out Cup, tomorrow, and then we'll kind of try to get back on schedule as much as possible. May push out Saturday for DFS, so Saturday morning. please make sure, you get that loaded up for yourself. And then, next week we'll be back to normal. It's just this long holiday weekend is always a bear when it comes to trying to get anything else done other than what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all good. We'll be a little fluid with the schedule this week and shifting things back, but that's all right.
But you're resilient. You guys are awesome listeners out there. And by the way, before I start to mention other shows, kudos to you guys out there for joining the Discord, making our Discord the third most popular Discord in the entire SGPN network, behind only MLB and NBA. Hey, let's kick those NBA guys' ass. Let's get more active in there. Everybody else, join the chat. You've been waiting to join. Now's the time to join. So,
yeah, love it.
All right, college basketball tournament starts Friday, and Noah Beanick has you covered with the college basketball experience. Plus, hop on the college baseball.
Baseball.
Basketball's way over. College baseball tournament starts Friday. Noah's got you
Go
covered.
Huskers, Big Ten champions.
Doesn't even matter anymore. College baseball experience. Jump in with that. Plus, hop in the college baseball bracket contest for a chance to win a $200 SGPN gift card. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket. Plus, we are running a mega Memorial Day merch sale. You get 15% off of everything in the merch store with the promo code SGPN. Go get yourself one of those sexy little hats, right? Or maybe even a hoodie. I know it's summertime, but you can never start getting ready for winter in plenty of time. And then, of course, that awesome little mug. Drinking coffee is not just a winter thing. Make sure you get in there, too. We're loving that merch store. 15% off SGPN May. Go hit it. Cody, there was a little bit of news this day today that we're kind of it was a worst kept secret in the garage, right?
It really was. Obviously, at this point, everybody knew today was going to be the announcement. But Stewart-Haas Racing is no more at the end of the season, Rod. They're going to shut the doors. They're going to sell off the charters. Kind of a little bit of history. Founded in 2002 as Haas CNC Racing. Gene Haas, of course. He wanted to start his own team. He obviously owns the Haas F1 team as well. He's a very, very rich man. In 2009, Tony Stewart left Joe Gibbs Racing, made the deal with Haas, said he would come drive with it, basically. And it was a bad team. Like when Gene started it, it was bad. I don't know if you remember that Zero car. Was it Net Zero, I think, was the main sponsor on that. It was a very shitty car, and it did not it didn't do much. So but they've now won 2 Cup Series championships, one with Tony Stewart and one with Kevin Harvick as well. Why do I feel like Tony won? I thought Tony won 2 championships for them. Maybe he didn't. But and then obviously they just won the Xfinity Series championship last week as well. 98 total victories between all of the series, 69 of those in the Cup Series, of course. So but yeah, they're done. They're going to be selling off the charters at the end of the season. So there's no announcement of who's going to be buying the charters, probably mostly because we don't have a charter deal done. So at this point, it would be silly to finalize a deal for a charter that might not exist next season. Obviously, it's close to getting done. The charter deal is. So according to Bob Pockris and some other sources out there, it sounds like Front Row Motorsports is going to buy one of the charters. 2311 will buy another one. Trackhouse will buy one as well. The 4th charter still undetermined. So one of the things with this charter deal and agreement is it sounds like they're going to cap teams at 3 charters, which is stupid and silly because Hendrick and Gibbs are going to be grandfathered in, and they're always going to be allowed to have 4, and those teams are probably never going anywhere. So I heard Denny Hamlin talk about that on his podcast today. They're going to have an extra advantage by having that extra team. So I sort of hope that they don't end up making that the rule, but if they do, obviously it would cap, 2311 would only be able to buy 1. Trackhouse would only be able to buy 1. Even Front Row would only be able to buy 1. So, maybe RFK is in the business for that other one. I don't think we're going to see the $70 million price that we saw. Was it 70? I think it was 70, right? That Spire paid for theirs last season. So I think it's going to be more like 40 for these ones probably is what the market sounds like. But yeah, Stewart-Haas Racing is no more. Now, obviously, there's been a ton of rumors as far as where the drivers are going to go and all of that. It sounds like Chase Briscoe is kind of the front runner for the 21 car for Wood Brothers, which I think would be a great fit. Get a good driver in over there. And basically, he would be part of Team Penske and actually be a good driver in the 21 for a change, something we haven't had in a while since Ryan Blaney was in the 21 car. But and then sounds like Josh Berry probably. Well, I don't know. It's so Cole Custer. It sounds like maybe he's going to go to because it sounds like they're getting rid of everything. Like Xfinity's gone, Cup's gone, so you're getting rid of Custer's ride, you're getting rid of Herbst's ride. So it sounds like Cole Custer maybe is going to go to the 34 to replace McDowell. Obviously, we know he's going to the 71. Then if Front Row adds another charter, maybe Josh Berry or Noah Gragson goes there. Noah Gragson's kind of been floated around as the third 2311 driver, third RFK driver as well. So Ryan Preece, I think, is going to be the odd man out. Riley Herbst, I don't know if he's getting a Cup ride. If not, he probably either goes back to Joe Gibbs Racing or JRM. I think would be a good fit for him, where he takes all his sponsor money and daddy's gas station money, because those teams like those drivers. So a lot of dominoes are obviously going to fall from this. We're going to have teams expanding their charters. Maybe a new team comes in, whatever the deal is, and then a lot of driver dominoes to fall as repercussions from this happening.
Gene needs to cover his losses from the Monaco. That's really all there is to it. So he's like, you know what?
I don't think Gene notices when any money goes missing, Rod.
Yeah, well, I mean, you noticed when both of his cars wrecked each other out in Monaco. That's for damn sure. But listen, as far as this is concerned, like, here's the thing, right? We knew this was coming, and unfortunately, it kind of leaves 4 decent drivers. I don't want to say searching for homes, but like you got Noah Gragson.
4 decent drivers.
Well, but Noah Gragson.
Yeah.
Noah Gragson was there.
Gragson.
Josh Berry's still good. I like Josh Berry.
Ryan Preece is definitely the odd man out. I don't think he gets a job. Mostly, I mean, he doesn't bring any sponsorship, any funding, and he's not been that great. So
yeah, no, it's definitely frustrating. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be kind of a weird situation, and it's weird because I feel like they want more teams to buy in, right? That's why they're giving only 3, but that's why they went down to 4, right? And what are you going to do now? Just cap them at 2 charters? Like the 4 has been working well for folks. It has.
Well, yeah, and like you can't make Rick Hendrick go to 4. They already made. I mean, I guess they did it before with Hendrick and Roush, right? They made him cut from 5 to 4, but I don't think you're going to make Rick Hendrick and Joe Gibbs go from 4 to 3. Like, I just don't see that happening, especially the way their teams are built right now. Like, it's not going to happen. And then it's unfair to these other teams that want to compete against those teams to not be able to get to 4 if they want to. So hopefully that's not part of the deal, but it sounds like that's one of the sticking points for Jim France. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. All right. We'll start talking about some bets because obviously there'll be more unfolding as it. Now we're just speculating. JDK saying the worst parts of racing got good as it ended. We'll talk about that. Go fast, Troy. Do you realize what time it is? We do, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah. It's sorry, Fox is breaking in. They need to air the overnight episodes of Judge Judy or something. So we got to get out of here.
He's also saying pretty humid out, may have to cancel the show. We talked about that, just a second ago.
There's a bead of sweat on my Dr. Pepper here, Rod. So I think we better take cover and not get struck by sweat from the pop.
I hit a little harder today. I figured I would need this to get through this show because we are.
I needed the caffeine to get to the show, but
yeah. And again, apologies if you're joining us a little late, especially on YouTube. Just understand that scheduling conflicts have been crazy. Obviously, me being on Army detail, and then of course I had my youngest promoting from 8th grade tonight, so I was out there on daddy duties. Thank you very much. Holy cow, I got 2 high schoolers. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this world. I am not ready for this yet. But one thing I am ready for is to go over our bets and to talk about these races because there were some good ones out there that we actually did have some good stuff going on. So let's do that. But first, let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Oh, that's not it. Underdog Fantasy. The NBA playoffs are here, and our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy, wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports because playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like points, rebounds, assists, and so much more. And of course, in the world of racing, better than or worse than the finishing position of the driver that you select. You can make entries on all of just basketball if you want, or you can mix and match across your other favorite sports like wrestling, like hockey, like basketball, like all kinds of other baseballs out there too as well. You like esports, that's got that for you too. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. Underdog's available all over the place. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But new customers, you want to pick them special, you get that in the lobby when you sign up. Underdog's also running a ton of different promos, bonus cash airdrops, specials, giveaways, and more throughout the NBA playoffs. So make sure to follow at Underdog Picks on Twitter to keep an eye out. Underdog is available in 30-plus states, including California, Texas, and Canada. They also just launched Champions, their player versus player format in Florida. Sign up today with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code RACESGPN.
Rod, you reminded me real quick when you brought up that graphic. We should say congratulations to our winner of the contest, picking the winner of all three races. Didn't pick the winner of all three races, but did a good job. Congratulations to Tyler. Already been in contact with him and getting his info, get that diecast set ordered for him. So did have Charles Leclerc to win at Monaco. Of course, he did that. Had Alex Rossi at Indy 500, got fourth place. William Byron for the Coke 374.5, and Byron finished in third place. So those of you who did have Larson in your picks for Cup, I did score as Allgaier, but it did not matter in the end because Allgaier finished 13th. So
Did nobody pick Newgarden to win?
Well, there was some people who had Newgarden, yes.
But they didn't have.
So but then they're, either their F1 pick drug them down or their Cup pick drug them down. There was quite a few actually that were really close. Because his average, he had a first, a third, and a fourth. So that was the best of, combined between all of them. But there were quite a few. There was a couple actually that had Charles Leclerc and Joseph Newgarden, but then Cup Series guy didn't do as well. I think a couple of Martin Truex Juniors and some other stuff too. So drug him down, unfortunately. But shout out to Tyler and congratulations.
Congratulations, Tyler. Good job, buddy. All right. Well, then, do we just get this out of the way?
I think let's start with the stupid thing and get it over with, Rod.
Obviously, we know that the Coke 600 was rain delayed for a little bit.
374.5, Rod.
And became the Coke.
Could you please address this name by its proper race? Okay, so a couple of I have some gripes here, right? So first of all, it just Mother Nature sucks because this was going to be such a great day, and it just got completely ruined as far as the racing was concerned because Indy 500 gets pushed back, then Larson has to make his decision. Obviously, we don't get to see that, but okay, he runs great at Indy, makes a mistake late, the result not indicative of how he ran, but then, okay, he's going to get in a plane, he's going to come finish the race. Allgaier's looking pretty good in it, he's doing great. Fucking it's raining. Okay. So, as we've seen here in the recent past, right? If we don't think we're going to get back to it, we just call it and hey, it's over. But no, we sit around for 2 fucking hours on TV, blowing smoke up your ass, making you wait, making you stay up like we're going to do it. Then it's almost dry, and we say, oh, it's too humid. What kind of fucking bullshit? So first of all, I get it, right? I get there's a lot of things that go into this. You've got the police that are there for security. You have all the people who have been working at the track all day. The teams are tired. The fans, but the fans were sticking around. A lot of them did. The TV audience, we were there. We were ready to go. Yeah, some kids probably had to go to bed. I know that sucks, but I've stayed up to 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. and the end of races before, Rod. It was never a big deal. What could Fox possibly have to come on TV? That's it's paid advertising over the are they getting paid that much?
ShamWow. Do not besmirch ShamWow. That is an essential American establishment. You cannot know. No, if you interrupt ShamWow, I'm pissed.
Yeah, if this is the Enjoy Illinois 300, who the fuck cares, right? Whatever. It'd be nice to see it go the full distance, but if it doesn't. But this is the Coke 600, Rod. This is the endurance race on the weekend where we are celebrating and remembering those who have served and given their lives and fought to the end, for us to honor them by canceling for humidity. Are you fucking kidding me, Rod? Like, and don't. It made it so much worse dragging it out. If you never had, they never had any intention of restarting it because you knew what time it was going to go till. You knew it was going to be late. You knew, okay, if we get this going, it's probably going to be this time. Why even start? Why get the jet dryers out there? Like, I don't understand. And then you had the Larson angle of he got there. It was good timing. Like, he's going to get a chance to get in the car now. He's going to go to the back, but we think he might be able to do something in it. And then we just cancel it.
Could you imagine if they would have tried to push that back for Larson to start? Because they were talking about pushing it back a little bit if he couldn't get in the ride quick enough. Could you imagine that?
Why couldn't it have been the other way around, Rod? Why couldn't the storms have come through Charlotte first, delayed the start of the 600, let us get in the 500, and then, come into Indy after the race? Who cares? And Mother Nature is just not a NASCAR fan. Sucks. But I don't know. The way they handled everything, I rarely vote no in the good race poll on Jeff Gluck's deal, Rod, but I voted no, and 24% of you were wrong for voting yes. I don't know what you could have liked. Like, the racing was good, but we just didn't. This is supposed to be the 600-mile long race. Like, let's push it into the night. Make these guys work for it. Like, just really, really deflated the entire weekend. All right, we can cruise to the bets, but really the analysis on every single one of these picks, Rod, is I was picking a 600-mile race, not 374.5 miles.
Yeah.
Because we were just getting to the part where, like, this was just like any other mile-and-a-half race, like a little bit longer than we just had at Kansas a few weeks ago. Like, okay, well, I would have picked more like that then, but we were picking for 600 miles and for it to change into the night, and then I don't know. And I get that once it's past halfway, you shouldn't restart it the next day, but maybe we can make an exception for a crown jewel event that's supposed to be a big, long endurance event in the fucking city. They could all go home to their own beds and sleep that night. The teams could. Like, no reason, a majority. I had to work on Monday. I get it. Some people have to work in service industries and stuff, but a majority of the country had the day off. Like, finish it the next day. Maybe this is the exception for that. I don't know. Just poorly handled the entire thing. And I know I had a big, long thing of bitching about people complaining a few weeks ago, Rod. So I hate to be that guy, but I think there's a very, very good reason to complain this week, and it sucks.
I think my only gripe on this is the simple fact that you always, I don't know, it pisses me off because that you can anticipate problems, right? I mean, as a non-commissioned officer in the military, I know that I am supposed to anticipate problems, and I'm supposed to build solutions around the anticipation of said problem. So therefore, if something happens, I can quickly move from plan A to plan B. If plan B is washed out, then I can move quickly to plan C. I find it very hard to believe that they did not foresee there was some weather. Somebody somewhere was looking at the weather saying, if it's a problem in Indianapolis, it may very well hit here at this time. There are some smart people in that NASCAR community. You can't tell me that somebody was not monitoring the weather. And then as it started to approach, they said, okay, well, here is plan B. And then if plan B doesn't hit, then here is plan C. So like you said, Cody, for 2 hours, and then you bring the track dryers out, and then you say it's too humid. I don't even know what that means. That's like when they were doing the thing on Major League, when the guy hits the home run, and he was like, oh, too high. It's like, too high? What the hell does that even mean? Like, too high?
So it takes a little longer than to dry the track. Like, we can race in humidity. I don't understand that. Seems like a kind of a chicken shit way out, really, to be honest with you. So I don't know. It just, again, the whole thing was handled poorly. It really sucks. And to your point of having plans, like Indianapolis had multiple media briefings of, okay, here's the plan. Here's what we're going to do. Then when they started the race, it was, okay, we're going to get the distance in, or at this time, we're throwing the checkered flag. This is going to be it. That's the plan. I think I heard Denny say it on his pod today. Like, so give us 100 laps, right? You don't want to go too late. Say, all right, 100 laps, here you go. Good luck. And throw everybody out there and let them go for it. but just to, I don't know. It was very, very spoiled ending, or spoiling the ending of what should have been a great weekend of racing. So really kind of sucked overall.
I concur. All right, let's get back to it after I tell you about Rhythm. If you're betting on NBA player props and you need to download Rhythm, Rhythm gives you a menu of the best player props for every single NBA playoff game, making it easy to go through and find the best props to put your money on in seconds. Rhythm's predictions are backed by over 3 years of data and a team of data scientists and quants that focus on fine-tuning our algorithm. By the way, I realize what quants finally is. I looked it up. I know it's a bunch of smart folks that are much smarter than me. So if you did not know what a quant is, just know that it's a very, very smart person and that is smarter than me. Rhythm pairs its predictions with player prop graphics to help you feel even more confident in your picks, which you can make wherever you normally place your bets or DFS picks. From superstars to bench players, Rhythm finds the best player props lines, all backed by AI data without you needing to endlessly scroll a sportsbook. Rhythm also allows you to create your own custom NBA models so you can get all AI-backed money line, spread, and total picks for every playoff game. Start a free 7-day trial and start your NBA player props with Rhythm, available wherever you get your apps. All right, so do we go through this betting card or do we just not? Because I don't know if any of them even hit for me.
Yeah, like I don't even really see the point because, again, we were handicapping for a race that we really didn't get. Yeah. So the Bowman top 10 for me hit. I think that was the only one of mine that hit. But
hey, we were on pace for my total 11.5 cautions, though. There were some pretty decent ones that were going on.
We were going to nail it, and yeah, I don't know. I think we recapped what needed to be recapped. Yeah. There's almost no point in going through the bets. The reason we do it every week for transparency, right, to talk about it, but also to what could we have done differently, or why didn't these hit? But why didn't it hit? Because we didn't get barely half the race in routes. So I'm already frustrated enough. Let's talk about something else.
All right, let's talk about trucks. How's that? We'll go all the way back to
see if we can remember back to 3 weeks ago when the trucks race.
Oh my God, for sure. I actually very much, Cody, enjoyed both of the truck and the Xfinity race for sure.
Great races, start of the week out. Great. You're like, all right, here we go. Good 1.5 mile racing like we always get. Things were looking great, Rod. Yeah.
I mean, the rug got pulled out from underneath us, but
that's all right. We'll go back and revisit the good times. So
we will.
I started off with Corey Heim, top 3 plus 125. Corey Heim dominates the day, Rod, running away with it. And depending on your book, he may or may not have cashed this because he finishes second place, but 3 loose lug nuts and he gets disqualified. So again, make sure you check the rules on your book. And this is actually going to kind of go depending on which one of these bets you had. It made some of these bets cash and it made some of these bets not cash. So I guess maybe, or hopefully the right side for you, whichever side is the way it hits. So Heim obviously finishes in second place. Some books pay out the results right away. Some wait until after inspection. So again, make sure that they know their own rules because half the time they don't even know their own rules, Rob.
No, well, I mean, they kind of just make it up as they go along because, oh, wait, does that make us more money or less money? Let's go with the way that makes us the most money. But yeah, man, Corey Heim, it's always Heim time, right? What I love about this is that I look at Racing Reference when I'm going to go back through all these things. And as Racing Reference gives you all of the laps that they ran, like all the ones on the lead lap, like 134, 134, 134. And then you get to the ones that kind of, either crash out or don't finish. And then at the very bottom, it gives you Corey Heim total laps 134. And you're like, damn, that's crazy. Because he got disqualified if he ran every single lap and finished in 36. But yeah, 72 laps that he led. Or I'm sorry, he led 1 lap. No, 72 laps.
Oh yeah. He was up front for a majority of the day. I mean, looked like the fastest car, looked like the car to beat. Or truck to beat, rather. Slow stop, obviously, there at the end is what cost him the chance at really winning it. But the reason for that slow stop, they had issues getting the lug nuts on. 3 missing. You have to assume that they weren't all 3 on the same tire. I don't think the tire would have stayed on. So it must have had 1 or 2 on the other side or the front. And then, 1 or 2 on that tire they had issues on. So rough day for them. The biggest part about that, getting disqualified, loses the two point playoff points for winning the stages, because he did win both of the stages. So those are taken away as part of the disqualification. Might not really matter, but hey, if you get squeezed out of the playoffs by 2 points, you'll look back on this and say, damn, what could have been.
Yep. All right. I don't know if it's time for me to stop disparaging Jake Garcia or not. Lugnut, NASCAR's next mascot, says Boji Joe. That's kind of funny. Actually, that dude, he was all alone in victory lane. Him and Christopher Bell should have just got exchanged numbers. Myron Kidd saying NASCAR Twitter the worst. They got to find something to whine about. This week they're being Fox for the rain shortened race.
No. This week they're actually right. I don't know if you're just tuning in, Myron, but we just got to mention about it too. So I'm on your side about, in general, like, let's not whine every fucking week. But I have a lot of whines this week. I think NASCAR handled the whole thing horribly. So you'll have to go back and listen to that, or maybe don't if you disagree with it.
Cody was a vineyard this week, full of wine. All right, so I don't know if I'm done, like if I'm off of Jake Garcia in negative or positive ways. But my first bet of the night was Connor Mosack over Jake Garcia. Hey, listen, Jake Garcia started 18th, put together a really good run.
Championship ticket's looking a little better on Jake Garcia, right?
Well, let's not go popping champagne yet. He did finish 6th in this race. But yeah, for sure, this was one of his, it was his best run in a very, very long time in that 13 truck. Connor Mosack, though, finished 8th, only a couple spots behind him. So not a bad run for Connor Mosack. I just did not expect Jake Garcia to climb all the way into a 6th place finish. And, a couple of restarts there late kind of gave these guys the opportunity to be where they were at the end. So, yeah,
they were pretty far down in the running order a majority of the race until late there. I was watching the battle for 25th as this one was playing out, and then they both end up there at the end. So I had Nick Sanchez top 5 minus 120. Rod, he's been showing up on the mile and a halves, been looking good. Maybe I should have taken my own advice a little farther. Nick Sanchez wins this race. So last time I did check, that is inside the top 5. So cash the Nick Sanchez minus 120.
Yep, that's the good stuff too, man. Nick Sanchez looked every bit as good as he needed to be, especially with those 9 laps that he ended up leading at this race. So, yep, I mean, hey, listen, we said it, right? We knew that it was coming for Nick Sanchez. We knew that there was something about to happen, and we didn't know it was going to be a race win, but hell, that's great. Again, this one, check your books, because this one may have ended up cashing if they pay out after the official.
What a bad beat this felt like as the checkered flag flew. Right?
I was pissed, so pissed, because Enfinger had to fight. Grant Enfinger top 3 was my bet at this one. 7-1. Grant Enfinger crosses the checkered the green, or the cross the finish line, took the checkered flag in 4th place. That is pain. But again, if your book pays out, right, or after everything settles down and inspections and everything, then you cash this one, because, man, Enfinger top 3 at 7-1 and then finished 4th. Man, that guy, he fought through everything, right? He started 17th in that race. I thought for sure after qualifying, I was like, this is not even going to be close to cashing. But he managed to just pump that 9 truck up where it needed to be. He wasn't even top 10 in either stage, right? I mean, obviously with all the stage flipping and all of the everything going on, it was hard to sort of nail down what strategy you were even on. But at the end, he was right there, and he ended up finishing 4th. But Corey Heim had those lug nuts, just like Boji Joe said, lug nuts, the NASCAR's next mascot. But yeah, that put Enfinger in the top 3. So look, I'm going to consider it a win because it's the stat sheet at the end of the race, right?
That's right. Exactly. I'm going to also consider this next one a win, Rod, because same situation here. Ben Rhodes top 5 plus 450. Again, crossed the line in 6th place, but 5th place at the end of the day with the Heim disqualification. So, yeah, again, this was not really – he won this race last season, I guess, was kind of the one thing you were going on. But yeah, it worked out well at the end of the day. Not necessarily running up there throughout the entire day. He was 8th place after stage 1. And he had started 13th, so not even that good, but worked his way up there, kind of hung around, and then right spot at the right time. Boji Joe asking if Ben had a new crew chief again. No, actually made it 2 weeks in a row with the same guy here. So, or 3 weeks in a row, actually. So,
Oh, they didn't helicopter someone in from another spot to put on a plane and put another helicopter in during the middle of the race.
Didn't have to do all of that.
I'm just
Rod. He wants to know when you're going to crew chief Ben. I think your week is coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. When I'm close enough to the East Coast to be able to crew chief somebody, I will. All right, my next bet. Look, Brett Moffitt, that one truck. I was so disappointed all day long. He started 19th, he finished 15th. I had Brett Moffitt pegged as a top 5 truck at 2-1. There was at no point did Brett Moffitt had anything for the rest of the field. He was never going to be a top 5 truck. I'm not completely off of him. I still think him and that one truck do great things. He didn't have it in this particular race, in this particular track. So, he was not piloting it like he should have. So Brett Moffitt did not finish inside of the top 5, did not cash this bet.
Yeah, a little bit of a disappointing run again, like you said, didn't start well and just really wasn't able to find his way up there. So a bit unfortunate there. Speaking of unfortunate, Rod, I had Taylor Gray top 3 plus 350. Talk about another guy that just not really around. It was actually the Tanner Gray show. He shows up, sits on the pole, wins the ARCA race, finishes 3rd in stage 1. He was 2nd in stage 2. Now he is considered 1st in stage 2 because obviously Heim not in there. But did finish 2nd in stage 2. And then Tanner, end of the day though, things didn't go so well. He finished 17th. But Taylor Gray in 12th place, started in 14th. Kind of just where he ran all day. Wasn't much. So he was the wrong Gray to be on. Not that the Tanner Gray bets cashed either because he fell back. But yeah, just not Taylor Gray's week, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Gray brothers did not enjoy a fun week. The Tanner actually enjoyed a fun couple of days until the race started
in the ARCA. So, and he had a good race until the end, and then he did Tanner Gray things.
Yeah, no, that was the frustrating part about it too, because I had him in the DFS, right, and I was all on him there, and thought he was a good play as well. So, unfortunately, that didn't happen. Okay, so for as much as I pumped Lane Riggs up, he was like, okay, I'm doing great, right? I'm Lane Riggs, I'm back, we're all good. He starts 5th on the grid. I was like, hey man, the 38 truck is doing great things right now. He's living up to everything I thought he was. I didn't even need him to finish in the top 5 to beat Garcia, Friesen, and Moilsack. Right? Oh, you spelled that wrong. Mosack. I didn't need him to finish anywhere near the top 5 for all of those, right? Well, Lane Riggs decides he wants to just prove me wrong this week and finish way down into the field. In fact, Lane Riggs ends up finishing in 28th place. He got in an accident, right? I think he got tagged late in the race as well.
He ran up front all day though, too, Rod. Like he was up there until he wasn't. And
but Garcia had him though too. Garcia had him toward the very end, and Garcia would have beat him too, anyways. So yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm not off of him yet now because I think he showed us enough to where we should be back on him again. But he's got the Ty Majeski piano falling thing down to a T. So yeah, we may have to pump the brakes on him a little bit. But Lane Riggs did not win Group A in Caesars. That in fact was Jake Garcia, who by the way was plus 240 anyway. So if you took him instead, kudos to you. He definitely had Friesen and Mosack all day, but yeah.
Yep. I had Dean Thompson top 5 plus 750, Rod. This was actually a pretty solid bet. Dean Thompson looked good throughout the day. 8th place in stage 1. Then you get to stage 2. He was at 5th place in stage 2. So you're thinking, okay, this is great. That last restart, I think he restarted 4th or 5th. I'm like, just hold on to it, buddy. You're so close. And then he Dean Thompson a little bit, fell back to 9th place. Still a strong run for Dean Thompson, but doesn't cash this one. But at plus 750 for a guy that ran up in or near the top 5 throughout the entire day. Again, it's one or the other with him, right? You're going to get these good finishes like this, and then you're going to get where he wrecks half the field like he did at Darlington. But I think on the 1.5 miles is going to be a place to continue to target Dean Thompson and try to catch him again when he catches that lightning in a bottle, and it ends up with that top 5 finish.
And he was too. He was running so well. Like even the broadcast was like, "Oh, hey, look at Dean Thompson." They stopped talking about Daniel Dye long enough to talk about Dean Thompson. So that's when you know this broadcast is serious about it. Boji Joe saying Zane or Todd win in the 38. I mean, probably, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, they both dominated in that truck for years. So
Yeah.
now, granted, Zane did fall off a little last season, so maybe that's something of a team thing, and Lane has stepped into a team that's kind of fallen back a bit. But I don't know. They obviously did a lot better than Lane has so far. I love Lane. I think that he's a very talented driver. I think that I had pretty high expectations for him going into the season. He's not delivered yet. We've seen some flashes, so we'll see. He's still a young guy and needs a little bit more time.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Well, Cody, what truck number does Nick Sanchez drive?
Not number 1. He's number 2, Rod.
He is. And is that under 15.5?
Yes, it is.
So I said at plus 110, under 15.5 was going to be the play. Absolutely was the play. The 2 truck ended up winning the race. What's crazy, though, is that obviously it was a 2 truck that won. Corey Heim led a ton of laps, but Stuart Friesen ends up finishing in second place because of the disqualification, which is crazy as all get out. But Grant Enfinger in the 9 finishes third. So we had 3 of the 4 trucks in the top 5 that were all under 15.5. So great circled around that number. While you're reading your outrights, Cody, make sure you get out fantasy picks because I want to remember how well we did.
I've already found them because you'll be glad to hear.
Good.
So
yep.
I was all in on Corey Heim plus 250. This was the right call, Roddy. Dominated the day. Eckes had the issue in qualifying, had to start in the back. It was a long road for him to get through, and it was Heim time all night long. Has a couple of bad pit stops. He fell off the jack the one time. The lug nut issue late there. Obviously gets disqualified and on the stat sheet finishes dead last, but he was right there. Plus 250 was a great number. Do not regret placing that bet. And Ben Rhodes at 35-1 for the guy who finished in 6/5th position, Rod. I'll take it. That's not a bad way, especially for going light on the outrights. Rod, over in the fantasy game against our friends of the NASCAR Betting Preview Show, we recorded our show. We took a gamble on Dean Thompson. Then I'm listening to their show, and Phil says something to the effect of, I hope that they, get a little cocky and maybe play somebody and make a mistake. And I just felt immediate remorse and regret. I sent a text to the group and I go, Rod, is it too late for us to take Dean Thompson out? At that point, obviously, we'd set our lineup, so we weren't going to do that. Thank God we didn't, because Dean Thompson paid off with a nice solid day. 264 for us, 239 for the boys over on the NASCAR Betting Preview Show. So that makes, and they did fix the site too, by the way. Makes 3 races in a row, at least. That's as far back as I could see. That we have collected the victory. Yeah, they got us a couple of races ago, but 3 races in a row where we have been adding to our lead. So we've stretched out to a 120-point lead now. Just keep on plugging away, Rod, and hopefully that will continue to go well. Trucks are back in action this week. All 3 series, Trucks and Cup, are going to be at Gateway. Xfinity going to be off by themselves, road course at Portland. So we'll be talking about all that this week. But another W for us over against the boys on the NASCAR Betting Preview Show, and just creeping that lead out there a little bit longer.
That is the one time where you will ever hear me talk any kind of shit, because I know that we have actually done very well for ourselves. And I don't take victory laps very often, but in this instance, I don't know what it is. Maybe because we are up against 2 of the sharpest minds, the sharpest bettors in the industry, and we are slaughtering them. So absolutely love you, Phil and Derek.
Yeah.
I really.
That's what I meant to say. Love you.
I swear to God, and that, you know what, we always joke about it. It's like, we'll have beers with the guys that we slam. Like, I would 1,000% have a beer with Derek and Phil, man.
Yeah, and we talked too. We're gonna find a time to do a crossover again, which we've done with them before, doing the Truck Series, and we're gonna play this fantasy game draft style. So they'll pick a guy, and then we can't pick that guy as we pick our guy, and kind of go back and forth, which will be a lot of fun. So hopefully that'll be one of the upcoming races here in the near future.
Indeed. So just to wrap up my outright, I had Christian Eckes. He led 37 laps in this race. He started in the dead back. Like, Christian Eckes had a rock. I wonder what would have happened if Christian Eckes would have actually started anywhere near the front, because that dude, him and Heim would have had a battle for the ages. Christian Eckes led from lap 109 to 125, but Nick Sanchez, man, hunted him down. I think that caution right after that, right? He ran into problems at the restart and dropped like a rock.
Well, he didn't. He stayed out, right? He didn't take tire,
yeah.
And that was a very poor mistake because he looked like he was on Fred Flintstone's tires out there and dropped back drastically.
Yep, ended up finishing 10th instead, but swear to God, he was right there, man. He had that race too at 4-1, and I really wish that he'd have won instead. But all right, Cody, let's talk about the good one. This one was good to us, and this was the best racing all weekend in the NASCAR. I know the trucks were good, but the Xfinity Series offered us the best racing of the weekend, I think.
As they do a lot of weeks, man. It's just, they're good. They continue to deliver.
I agree. All right, set up your first bet there, buddy.
Well, I had Chase Elliott, top 5 plus 120. I don't know that Chase Elliott was a top 5 car throughout the day, Rod. I will definitely say that. But they played the strategy game right, saved that pair of tires, sitting in the right place at the right time at the end. Enough other people destroyed each other and took each other out, which helped out. But Chase Elliott obviously wins the race, so he does cash the top 5 at plus 120. Good start to the card.
How crazy was that, though, right? Chase Elliott starting in the almost dead back and ended up winning this race. That's why I'm saying this was probably the best race, is because there was so much going on at any given opportunity. I mean, it was just insane. And there was no overtime. That's the other thing about this. There was so much that went on. There were 8 cautions and no overtime. Like, there was so much going on in this race that it was just insane. And for Chase to come through and win that one, that was pretty good for Chase. All right, I had Sammy Smith as a top 5 car. Sammy Smith, baby. JRM is back. Hey, hold on. Allow me a second. Okay. I'm going to read off the top 4 cars, and I'm going to tell you who they drive for. Okay. Chase Elliott, Hendrick car. Okay, that's fine.
Probably, by the way, partially prepped by JRM.
You gotta think so. Brandon Jones. Oh, he drives for Junior Motorsports. Sammy Smith. Oh, he drives for Junior Motorsports too. Sam Mayer. Oh, guess what? He drives for Junior Motorsports too. Oh, Justin Allgaier.
Where's Justin Allgaier, Rob?
40 freaking laps in this race. Almost the most laps in this race. Should have won this race. Ends up not finishing anywhere near. In fact, he finished in 33rd place. But anyways, I'm just saying, we could have had a top. We got all 4 in the top 5 easily of JRM cars. So guess what? Sammy Smith finishes in 3rd place, finishes and cashes his 5-1 top 5. Fucking let's go.
Yeah, I doubted you on this one, Rod. I challenged you. I said he wasn't even a top 5 driver at JRM, but you got lucky that enough people took each other out. Sometimes that's all it takes. So
he would have been a 3rd place driver at JRM that day. So
congratulations to you. And yes, this was a great bet for you to hit. So love it. I'm still undecided on if these were good bets or not. I had Justin Allgaier over Kyle Busch plus 120 and Ty Gibbs over Kyle Busch at plus 100. Now, neither of these hit, Rod. And Kyle was better on the day than I thought he would be, right? He started in 2nd place. He led quite a few laps. He was up there throughout the day, but then kind of at the end of the day, finishes in 6th place, which is pretty much where I said he was going to finish, right? And I just thought that Gibbs and Allgaier would be a little better. You just mentioned Allgaier. Allgaier was better, right? Allgaier was the fastest car on the day. He swept the stages, and once he got up there, he kind of was my back for a little while because he started 9th, so it wasn't horrible, but he started a little farther back. But once he got up there, had a rocket ship, looked so good. And so getting him at plus 120, I think, was a great bet. Doesn't cash because the piano falls and he gets in an accident, of course. And then with Gibbs, Gibbs starts on the pole. You're like, all right, here we go. And he was up there throughout the day. Got a little damage at one point. I don't remember which incident that was, but kind of ruined his day from that point on. But I still think I would place both of these again because you got plus money. Kyle was good on the day, but ends up finishing 6th, kind of where you thought. And Allgaier and Gibbs were both very good on the day as well, despite not actually beating them. So, I liked both of these, but unfortunately, neither one cashed.
Indeed, JDK saying that's a lot of shit talk from a guy that took a Creed out, right?
But Creed was 35-1. Again, it's not just about the driver; it's about the number. JDK, it's all a numbers game.
I know you said that in the Discord as well. All right, this next one, you know what is funny? When I doubt AJ Allmendinger, those are the days when he actually comes through and proves me wrong. So I feel like AJ, you did this because I told you that you weren't going to do well on this racetrack. So I apologize already. All right. So please don't take it personal. I literally want to have a beer with you, bud. You're one of the guys that I would love to get to know as a human being, because I think we would vibe very well together. But AJ Allmendinger, I had Jesse Love over AJ Allmendinger. And with Jesse Love, man, qualified 4th, looked fantastic, like this was going to happen. And AJ, Boji Joe saying AJ always outstrive his car. But that, I mean, I think I even said that too. It said I hurt my feelings and I feel like he was going to do well, but Jesse Love's been on a freaking tear. But AJ Allmendinger starts 11th, finished 5th. And he was basically a good car all day long. He was always in the mix, always on the right side of the strategy of when it mattered. So, AJ Allmendinger finished stage 1 inside of the top 10. Didn't stage 2 because I feel like that was strategy as well. But Jesse Love, man, he just got shuffled through the mix and wasn't able to catch back up again. I think he even got tagged at one point and got a couple of laps down. So,
well, that was the thing, was so many cars in this race got damage in one of the many incidents, and really cost some good days. But Allmendinger, man, just keeps getting it done. Chris Rice was on Door Bumper Clear today. He reiterated that Kaulig is not selling. Even, basically said, we love what Spire did, getting all this Andretti money, all the Gamebridge money. We're looking for partners like that, basically. So they're reaffirming their commitment to hashtag chasing trophies, Rod. So, and hey, this will be a good week for them with Allmendinger and SVG going out to Portland there.
This is what I love about our audience. They remember. They have the memory of what's an animal with a good memory? A turtle, an elephant? I don't know, whatever. But Boji Joe
saying I can't remember.
So yeah, I love it. All right, Cody, what was your next bet?
I had Ty Gibbs top 3. Speaking of their memory, JDK pointing out it was the Allgaier incident that Gibbs took damage, and that was kind of what cost him. I think he was top 3 car on the day. I mean, it was Allgaier, it was Busch, and it was Ty Gibbs. Those were the 3 cars that were the class of the field, and then none of their results really reflected that because of incidents and getting caught up in things. So Ty ends up in 9th place, unfortunately. Comes out, starts on the pole. This number it was before the race, was like minus 200 or something. You're like, all right, we got a good number on this. It's great. You're feeling good. And then he's running well throughout the day, but takes that damage, and unfortunately, it cost him a little bit.
Yep. And then my next bet, Cole Custer, top 3 car. I mean, he starts 6th, right? I thought, oh, here we go. Cole Custer's going to have a good day. Ends stage 1 in 10th. Doesn't end stage 2 in the top 10. But, he got crashed out on lap 184. And, that was it. That was it for his day, right? I mean, that's really what sucks about it. I don't think he would have had a top 3 car, but for the rest of the day. But, I think with Boji Joe, Cole Custer wins Portland. That's a good.
Well, he did last year on the last lap when 2 other guys took each other out. So we'll have to see if he can get it done again. Rod, rough weekend for SHR. Cole Custer, you mentioned. I had Riley Herbst top 5, top Ford. If you flip the results upside down, Riley Herbst has actually got both. He was dead last in this race. So he was the top finishing Ford if you start at the bottom, which is, as a guy with the last name that starts with a Z, I like to start from the bottom every once in a while. You're in the V camp. You know how that goes, especially being in the military. So, but yeah, unfortunately not a good day for Riley. He was collected in that first incident, and this one never really stood a chance, which just how it goes with Riley. It's so hit and miss. Like I wanted to be like, I just want to retire him, but you look and 38 this week, but he was 7th at Darlington, 16th at Dover, but he was 2nd at Talladega. He was 5th at Las Vegas. He was 6th at Daytona. He's got some good finishes. It's so inconsistent, which I guess makes this the best way to bet on him, right? It's longer shots, plus 360, it's plus 450. If he shows up and has one of those good days, you cash this. On the other side of things, and I think that's probably why these types of drivers that are inconsistent, this is where you target them, much like Sheldon Creed, JDK, by the way, where it's all about the number. It's a bigger number because the upside is there.
Well, I will say that Riley Herbst was the top 5 of the bottom, so we can definitely cash that one as well, and the top 4 of the bottom drivers. All right, my next bet, I had Hill as a top 3 car at plus 250. Hill, was he ever really a top 3 car? I mean, he ends up finishing in 25th. He was 8th place.
He was like beating and banging and flipping people off for like 10th place all day.
Oh my God.
Him and Sam Mayer got in a pissing. Was it Mayer? No, it wasn't Mayer.
No, it wasn't Mayer. I don't know who he flipped off, but
I don't remember who it was for. Obviously the Cole Custer incident, which still I wouldn't be totally shocked if he gets suspended a race, Rod. I mean, so I think Wednesdays because of the holiday, I think Wednesdays when we're going to find out the Kyle Larson waiver officially. Any suspensions or fines, but like he purposely wrecked him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know that he will be suspended. I think it's kind of been not really blown up or anything, but he wrecked somebody purposely at Charlotte, which resulted in Chase Elliott, the most popular driver in the sport, being suspended last season. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'll be kind of interested to see when the penalty report comes out if that's on there. But was not a Hill day.
That was a thumbs up. That wasn't a flip off. He was literally.
That was Cole Custer was giving the thumbs up. But,
that was the thumbs up. That's even worse. That is worse than a middle finger, because a thumbs up, that's like, hey buddy, I recognize that you're an asshole and I love you.
And I think it actually was a legit thumbs up, because at first I was like, oh, he's giving him a thumbs up, like making fun of it. Then I'm like, oh, maybe they're just saying thumbs up because he's flipping them off and they don't want to say that. But then he actually was giving him a thumbs up. So
Boji Joe, let's start a drinking game with Cody. What
word do I say too much, like Nick Fulton on the Old Fashioned Football the other day?
My God, please check out my Twitter account for that. That was
yes. Go look at the clip from Old Fashioned Football. Rather hilarious when Rod was on last week. Rod, I did attack the top Chevrolet market.
Sure did.
And the reason you do this is because every week it's a little bit different. Justin Allgaier doesn't always finish good, Rod. By the way, didn't finish good again. You might get some different people up there. Had Chase Elliott not been in this race, your top Chevrolets were Brandon Jones and Sammy Smith. So, again, that's why you take the shots here. I took a shot on Sam Mayer at 10-1. He finishes in 4th place. I'll take that. Actually, late in the race, looked like maybe he could even win this one. So, I do not hate that. But also took Chase Elliott at 5-1, Rod. 1st place, I believe, means that no other Chevrolets finished better. So, cash it. And what's crazy about this too is the top 6 were all Chevrolets, but it wasn't the chalk Chevrolet of Justin Allgaier, which is what why you don't take him, but you take these other guys. Then throughout the day you're thinking, well, this is probably cooked because Allgaier looks fucking good, right? But then he doesn't at the end of the day. Even Kyle Busch was I think even the favorite over Allgaier in that. He finishes in 6th place. So Chase Elliott cashes at 5-1. Sam Mayer at 10-1 was also a good bet, being right there at the end and having a chance to win on this one.
Yeah, and again, this is your 5-1 on Elliott to be the top 4, or the top Chevy rather, was the same as the outright that I gave, right? And it was better than Gibbs as the outright, and it was better, than a lot of the other outrights. So again, like you said, this is why you attack these other markets, because you can win money in it. And once again, Boji Joe saying it was Sammy Smith.
Sammy Smith, that's who Austin Hill got in the pissing match was first.
Yeah, it wasn't Cole Custer. I know Cole Custer doesn't necessarily.
Well, it was Cole. No, Sammy Smith first.
Yeah.
And then he wrecked, ended up wrecking Custer later. So
Austin Hill, you're better than that. Come on, big country.
Is he he's starting to kind of seem like a little bit of a crybaby?
Well, right now it feels like.
I mean, he's a big dude and everything, but it's like he's starting to be that kind of whiny guy. I don't know if he was having a bad day on Saturday or what, but.
Hey, listen, I know that I've had a very long weekend and I've got a very short fuse, so I can only imagine what his is like. So I get you, Austin. I get you. Again, let's have a beer. Let's talk this out, because I want to know if you feel like I feel. All right. Once again, listen, if you do nothing else, if you place no other bets in this entire card of any racing circuit that we give you. And if I give you a winning number, that is the one that you place, right? Winning car number for me, 19.5. I told you that was way too juiced of a side to make it at plus money because it was plus 110. Winning car number, 19.5. I'm going to read you off the top 5 cars, Cody. Chase Elliott.
It's like LeBron. Not one, not two, not three.
5. All 5 cars were under the 19.5 threshold. Chase Elliott wins the race at 17. Brandon Jones at 9. Sammy Smith at 8. Sam Mayer at 1. AJ Allmendinger at 16. Look, Justin Allgaier, the 7 car, who led 40 freaking laps in this race before. Once again, the piano decided to descend it down on Justin Allgaier. Still could have won this race. Look, winning car number, you don't give me that big of a range at plus money. I'm taking that all day long. So that one cashed.
Yeah, there was just too many good cars under this rod, and obviously, yeah, all the top 5 hit it. So great call by you once again. Outrights, I did take Sheldon Creed at 35-1. Again, numbers game. He didn't show up. It's all about the number. Like, it's not a bad bet because the number was so big. Had he been 10-1 like Chandler Smith and been a piece of shit all day again, Chandler Smith is now on the shit list, Rod. I don't really know what's going on there. It doesn't seem to be Gibbs' speed because Ty Gibbs had speed. So not really sure what the deal is, but very disappointed in Chandler Smith once again. I mean, really, like, was he 8th in stage 1, 8th in stage 2? Like, yeah, just not in the mix throughout the day. And then where did he even finish? Was he
Chandler Smith? Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He finished in 18th.
So, and he started 3rd. Like, that was the thing. You think qualifying, it's Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch, Chandler Smith, and you're like, let's fucking go. And then just shits the bed all day again. I don't understand what's going on in the Chandler Smith camp there. So, road course obviously this week. We'll see when we get to the shorter tracks again. Maybe that's going to be more of his strength, but I don't know. I gave out Ty Gibbs as a favorite at plus 375. Felt good about this after he wins the pole. But, Rod, Chase Elliott should not be plus 750. I get it. He doesn't come down to Xfinity very often, but he's in the Hendrick 17 car, and it's Chase freaking Elliott. What are we doing here? This made no sense. Was he the best car throughout the day? Absolutely not. Were they smart about it? Did they play the strategy perfect? Did they get lucky? Yes, they did. You needed all of those things, but then you put him in the position. You know, he restarted, was it 4th or 5th place in that last restart? Quickly ran through everyone, took the lead, ran away with it. So Chase Elliott plus 750, cash it. And yeah, he obviously gave us a great day. Kind of had a little bit of a car lift with him with the top 5, the top Chevy, and the win. So yeah, he paid out very nicely for us on Saturday, which was a good thing since, Sunday went how it went.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah, those 3 pumps on the jack got you where you needed to be for sure. The guy, Justin Allgaier, I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to change it. He should have fucking won this race. There's no reason why Justin Allgaier should have, other than the fact that I think God hates Justin Allgaier at this point. However, he did get in and run the Coke 374.5. And so,
by the way, absolutely great run by him too. He's been in the Cup Series a lot over the years, Rod, but not in a next gen car. This was his first time getting in there. And he looked really good, finishes the Coke 374.5 in 13th place. So, having a great day, kind of started at the back, got used to things and figured it out, and then ran up through the field very nicely.
Yeah. He says, stop with Allgaier. Boji, you know me, buddy.
Rod's not going to quit him for one, but that's why you can't bet him, in my opinion, because it's nice when you hit him when he wins, but so many times at Phoenix, at all these other places where he's the best car, it would take some research, but the number of times Justin Allgaier's had the best car and not won has to be some type of record. It really has to be, because he's dominated so many races where he doesn't win, Rod. It is got to be the most frustrating thing to be part of that team or a fan of his, because it's just rough, man. He is good, and he's good every week almost. And then that piano just chases him around and falls out of the sky. And, 3/4 of the time, it's not even his fault. Like, the tire just lets go with 7 laps, or wrong place, the wrong time when an accident happens, or whatever it is, but it just, man, rough for that guy.
Full disclosure, I was in a hotel all weekend. Luckily, the military put me up in a hotel. It was just very rare at this point.
I thought that was only for the Air Force.
Hey, I must have joined the Air Force. However, I was watching on their TV, and I almost would have had to expense a brand new TV when Allgaier ended up getting wrecked, because that remote was about to head straight through that beautiful flat screen TV that they had in that thing. But I restrained myself and really just let out a string of curse words that I'm sure both sides of the rooms heard at 1:00 in the morning. So yeah, I'm not done with Allgaier, but I will say it's definitely I'm just gonna have to take a couple of deep breaths when I look at what his odds are and where I want to put him.
Yeah, he's just frustrating because, again, he's always so good, and then just doesn't pan out in the end of the day more times than it does.
It's definitely something that I'm not fond of, but I still love the guy. I still love Junior Motorsports, so I will bleed Junior Motorsports till I die. I didn't even know I was a Junior Motorsports fan until last season. I didn't know that I was so big of a Junior Motorsports fan until last season. So we're all good there. Well, Cody, that was Charlotte. Can you believe
that was Charlotte? I'm glad we ended on the high note of the Xfinity Series, Rod. Again, great racing as they always are. And yeah, so thanks. Sorry this is out so late, but it's all right. We're gonna get caught up on the week, and back tomorrow with full Cup Series picks for Gateway, going back to Worldwide Technologies Raceway there in St. Louis.
And a split schedule too, because we got Portland on the schedule as well. So it's Gateway and it's Portland, Trucks and Trucks and Cup in Gateway, Xfinity in Portland doing the road racing thing this weekend.
Which is always kind of fun because you get, like when we break down the oval for the Trucks and the Cup Series, but then completely different handicapping as far as the Xfinity race goes with the road course element and being Portland, which is a track that only Xfinity goes to these days. And so, yeah, love it.
And the good news is when we do DFS, we'll have all three series because we're going to be about a day behind. So I guess if there's one good thing that comes out of it, we'll have DFS and Underdog for all three series when we put it out.
Love it, Rob.
So, all right, everybody. Boji Joe saying Joey Logano tomorrow, calling his shot. Well, we'll see how that works. I don't know. Joe,
I will say
my Justin Allgaier.
I filled about half my card out. I was just doing some research earlier. It's a little Ford heavy this week, Rod. It's gonna be a little bit fading the Chevys. Just a little peek into the future for you.
Cody, you putting on your bow tie? I see. Love it. All right. Well, then you need to post a video of you putting on your bow tie, and you put that on social media.
I had a bow tie. He's the only guy who can pull it off. Hopefully, if you know what we're talking about, gonna be a bet on him tomorrow, which doesn't happen very often. So I think he's the only driver who can pull off the bow tie look.
Beautiful. All right. Well then, Cody, as we head off into the sunset on this recap edition, let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff over there. Article today, Rod, that dropped 10 of my favorite futures bets for the NFL season for 2024. It's right around the corner, baby. Get those bets placed. So go check that out. I got a ton of NFL stuff actually out right now. So that's been great. Ton of racing stuff last week. Again, I appreciate all you guys for reading my articles and looking at those. Like Rod said earlier, the Discord we're one of the top Discords, even though we're just a little old NASCAR over here. We're hanging with the big boys, which we love. Same thing on the article side of things and the podcast side of things. So couldn't do it without all of you guys. So we appreciate it. We'll see you again tomorrow.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. There's a link at the bottom. Everything I got going on, whether it's here, whether it's Sportsbook Review, IndyCar article this weekend that I nailed Joseph Newgarden on. Let's go. And then, of course, you can check out the video that I had on Old Fashioned Football. But by all means, go look and listen at Old Fashioned Football. That episode was hilarious. It's so much fun.
It's always great till they start hating on my Patriots again, Ron. It's every single time with these guys. I don't know why I take the abuse of listening, but actually I do know why, because it's a great show. Make sure
because they know you listen. So, all right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow with some Cup episodes and having some fun with you guys. Until then, everyone, let's go racing and let it ride.